call to order the council meeting for May 26, 2021. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Campbell,
Present.
Councilwoman Iguodaro,
Here.
Councilwoman Wilson, Councilwoman Julian, Councilman Stevens,
Here.
Vice Mayor Leon,
Here.
Mayor Harris.
I'm here.
You have a quorum.
All right. Please stand for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance.
God our Father, we thank you for your grace and mercy towards us. We thank you for your many blessings. Father, we pray now that you bless our city, you bless the leadership, the residents, and everyone that calls this city Miami Gardens home. And Father, we promise to give your name praise, honor, and glory that it deserves. It is in your Son, Jesus Christ's name I do pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're on approval of minutes. Mr. Clerk.
Yes, we, on the May 12th, 2021 draft minutes was forwarded to council. There are copies before the council on the dais.
I need a
ask for
motion.
Motion.
It's been moved and seconded, and all in favor of adopting the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No oppositions? Minutes are adopted. We're on order of business. Are there any items that need to be pulled or added to the agenda? Nope. None, Mr. Clerk?
No add-ons and
No items need to be pulled, anyone?
no.
No? All right, I need a motion on the agenda.
Motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Show it, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No oppositions? Show the agenda passed as is. All right, we're on the special presentation by me? Is a special presentation by me?
That's the email I got from
All right,
Sarah.
let me get up and say what my special presentation is.
All right then.
I see the manager standing up behind this podium.
Yeah, Mayor, I'm going to do your special presentation.
All right, cool. A special presentation that I had no idea.
And I'm glad we were able to keep the secret.
Oh, wow.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. As you know, May marks the 18th anniversary of the city's incorporation. Even though Miami Gardens is a relatively young city, the growth and development of the city has already created a rich history that everyone can celebrate. The success of the city can be attributed to the collective hard work and dedication of many individuals. But this evening, we'd like to honor the three mayors who have led the beautiful city of Miami Gardens with their own portraits, memorializing their leadership and commitment to the city. First introduction is Mayor Shirley Gibson. She served as the first mayor of the city of Miami Gardens from 2003 to 2012. Vice Chair Oliver Gilbert III served as councilman starting in 2008 and was elected mayor from 2012 to 2020. And Mayor Harris served as councilman, vice mayor before being elected to mayor in November 2020. Over the years, a few notable accomplishments based on the leadership from these mayors, a keen focus of collaborative efforts resulting in job creation, tax-based expansion, and progressive quality of life initiatives. Revitalization of the city, increased corporate expansion, opportunities for existing and new developments along the city's major corridors, establishment of the general obligation bond program, establishment of a number of community programs, events that position the city of Miami Gardens as a great place to live, work, and play, and most recently, achievement of the 2020 All-American City designation. Based on that, Mayor Harris, I would like you to come down
Oh, wow.
and do the unveiling of the portrait.
Meeting is
So Mayor, if you would unveil a No, I'd like the mayor to do it, please. So Mayor, we do the first one, Mayor Gibson. Okay, Mayor Gibson. The second one will be Mayor Oliver Gilbert III. And finally, Mayor, your portrait, Mayor Rodney Harris.
Well, they got that smile right.
Yeah.
Mayor, you want to get pictures with everyone? Okay.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Yes, everyone.
Uh-oh. No. I don't know who was responsible for all of the beautiful photos and the paintings, but I'm at awe. That is, people. People fight for People fight for legacies. People fight for right. It's just hard to believe. You know, if you knew my life and you knew my story, from where I came from, this is incredible. You know, I'm the last of my family. My sisters, my brothers, gone. My mother, my father, gone. And to be able now to walk into this building and to look up at this picture and see my father's name, see my birthright, my children, my grandkids, their children will be able to share in this moment, even though they're not here right now. But just to be able to say something I did in life was right. Something I did right in life was right. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of y'all for this wonderful gesture. And I won't let you down, definitely. I strike all these tears from this record.
Nah, these tears are duly noted.
But y'all gonna have some people mad at y'all though, boy, when I don't know how I'm gonna go home and tell my wife that you guys did this for me tonight and she wasn't here. Boy, that's gonna be tough, boy.
We'll blame it on the manager.
All right. All right, where we at now?
Right now, we're on to public comments, Mayor.
Are there any public comments?
Yes, there is. I have one in-person public comment, Brenda Providence. They'll be bringing her in shortly.
Public comments is open on all these items or whatever they are. Whatever they are. Ms. Providence, please state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Brenda Providence, 2021 Northwest 154th Street in the beautiful city of Miami Gardens. I'm here on behalf of some of the 114,000 residents of Miami Gardens, which includes all of you, because all of you live in Miami Gardens. I have gotten calls about affordable rentals in the city. They're too high or they're income restricted. Folks are looking for something in between. I've gotten calls on predatory lenders. We got that PACE program, Y-Green, FHIA, all coming after our seniors, because we are coming out of a major worldwide pandemic. We're coming out, hopefully. And there are a lot of people in our community that were being assisted by folks who can't help them anymore. And their homes are falling apart. They need roofs. They need air conditioners. They need everything. So let me stop and just say how beautiful these pictures are. I feel you, Mayor.
Yeah.
I gotta say that. It's a beautiful picture.
Thank you.
But these people are in need. So I implore all of you, when you're spending my money and yours, be cognizant of that. Understand that while we need a Juneteenth program, half of that 80,000 could have fixed somebody's roof. It could have improved somebody's house. Some of the money that you guys spend, and I know your hearts are good, but understand the people of Miami Gardens need you. They need you to come through for them. Was that my time?
No, go ahead and finish.
Your SHIP program, the State Housing Initiative Program, your housing rehabilitation program, some of those haven't been funded because money is tight. But we have money left over from Jazz in the Garden and other things. Just be careful. Be careful. We elected some of you guys. We elected all of you guys to speak for us, to work for us, to do for us. And so I ask, the world has changed. No more business as usual. Decide how you want to represent us, how you want your legacy to be. Whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me. So on behalf of the residents of Miami Gardens, just be careful. Good night.
Thank you, Ms. Providence.
Now through Zoom, we have Rhea Hughes.
Ms. Hughes?
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Ms. Hughes. Please state your name and address for the record.
The name is Rhea Hughes. I'm at address 3335 Northwest 180th Street, Miami Gardens, Florida, 33056. Mayor Harris, I'm asking, can you explain to the homeowners and taxpayers the All American City National Civic League, and I'm referring to the banners located on the major corners of the city. When did the city of Miami Gardens make the decision to apply for this recognition? What are the qualifications? What is the application process and procedures? Is there a cost factor for this recognition? If so, did the city of Miami Gardens apply for this, recognition, and what budget line item was used to submit the funds needed? Also, on another question, can you provide the status of the interlocal agreement as it pertains to the traffic calming devices for the city of Miami Gardens? Thank you so much and have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. Somebody will definitely get in contact with you to answer that question for you.
The next speaker we have is Gail Cunningham.
Ms. Cunningham, please state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Gail Olivia Cunningham, address 19001 Northwest 14th Avenue Road, Miami Gardens, Florida, 33169. Good evening again. As a resident and constituent, it is requested that all council persons, representatives of listeners, voices of all the residents and constituents of the city of Miami Gardens, please provide an avenue of communication that allows for discussion, questions, proposals, answers, transparency, follow-up of items, and more before they are presented to staff, your fellow council persons, and the city clerk. In this way, your constituents will not feel uninformed or blindsided by council meeting agenda items. We want to know what you're thinking. We want to know through discussion with us, because we will either benefit directly or indirectly in a positive or a negative way. So once an idea is thought or plan is thought, please involve us. We involved you when we decided that we would go to the voting booth and make a decision as to who will sit on the dais and represent us. Please, we want to be a part of the entire process. So when we sit or look at our council meetings and we look at the agenda item before that Thursday before the meeting, we will not look in surprise we will look understanding. I know about this. I know exactly what he or she is about to present because I was a part of the process. Respectfully, Gail Olivia Cunningham, have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cunningham.
And that are,
Are there any more public comments?
that's it. No more public comments, sir.
Showing that there's no more public comments are closed. There's no ordinances on for first reading. There's an ordinance on for second reading.
All right, item 9.1, in order to the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing budgetary transfers for fiscal year 2020-2021, authorizing city manager to take certain actions, providing for adoption of representation, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing a severability clause, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager.
Mr. Manager.
Mr. Mayor, council members, this item is before you for second reading. However, there is a slight request that I'd like to propose to the council. As you all know, over the last several years, we were able to do a recruitment of internship folks to the city of Miami Gardens. Due to the COVID and due to other things over the last year and a half, we were not able to do that. However, seeing that we are coming out of the COVID and we are opening our parks, I'd like to propose an additional $60,000 to be adjusted at mid-year so that we can use that money as a match with Career Resource, which would give us $120,000 that would be used to bring interns back to the city of Miami Gardens. I'm hoping that primarily that these interns will work in the Parks Department, given the fact that we have new facilities opening. We have other programming needs that we need to do, and we can use some of these interns to help establish some of those programs and also assist with getting those programs up and running. So I am asking for an adjustment of $60,000 to be used for the internship program with Career Source. That would be matching that 60,000 would match another 60,000 from a Career Source, which would bring the total to $120,000.
Is this the public comments on this item?
Yeah, this is a public hearing, Mayor.
Are there any public comments on this item?
My office has not received any written communications or any pre-registered public comments, nor do we have anybody in the lobby for public comments on this item.
All right, showing that there's no public comments is closed. I need a motion on this item.
Motion.
It's been moved and seconded. It's open for discussion by the dais. Miss Councilwoman Wilson.
Do we know how many how many students will be a part of this summer program this year?
I think over the years, I think our total is close to about 85. When in council, I'm sorry, Mayor.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Over the last several years, Councilwoman, we've had a matching fund of about 150,000 with 150,000 with the Career Source, which was 300,000. So obviously we were able to bring in more kids during that time back then. With this 120, we're probably, I can't tell you what the number is, but I'm sure it's not going to reach the numbers we've been having over the last several years. But the goal, you know, when we were contacted by Career Source and we talked to them on a short notice, the goal was to try to revamp the program so that in the future years, we would be able to budget accordingly to what we've done in the past years. So as an overall, I think we've reached about 85 to 90. I would anticipate that in this program, my guess would be around 30.
Oh.
Ms. Mayor.
I don't think she finished yet. Hold on. You finished?
I'm almost out of breath. 30 children only?
That would be my guess with the amount of money that we're talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
I think And it's a arduous process, especially when children have to go back to school with school uniforms. It's a real big thing. That and also the school supplies that they need. I'm confident that we might be able to find ways to get the school supplies, but I'm not confident that we'll be able to help a lot with those kids that are out working. And if they are working, chances are they really need the money to work. So what I would like to see, or I don't know if it'll be a part of this fiscal year or this summer program, if there is a way that we could partner with an organization or find a way to supplement this where we can provide a uniform package for the youngsters as well. You know, to maybe some kind of voucher system to assist them in this process, or, you know, either get it up to 100 children who can benefit. I know that we have done a lot, and I understand Mrs. Providence's comments about being good stewards, but sometimes I don't think that people really understand how much this city does. They look at what is still yet to be done, and they don't look at the work that has been completed and is still being completed. And so I do believe that this is one area, since I've been on board, that this city has done a great job in getting kids and putting them to work and ensuring that they are able to help their families. But in this particular instance, I don't want to see that number dwindle. But if it does, those that we help, I'd like to see us assist abundantly. Is anything like that? And I know that we could probably discuss it offline, but I'd like to let you know.
Mayor,
Yes.
I don't want, what I can do is, this is for the budget amendment that we're talking about. Obviously, we can take your comments, if support from the council, we can take those comments and do something separately regarding what you're speaking to.
And I know we've done things in the past and partnered with other organizations to provide funding to support our summer job program. So, all right, we'll talk about that we'll talk about that at a later time.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mayor.
I appreciate it.
We're having some technical difficulties with the live stream. We need to recess for 5 minutes.
All right, we'll take a
Session.
5-minute reset.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, boy, you.
Yes, we're on item 9.1. Right now, Mr. Mayor, if you would like, I can recap for you. Right now, we have a motion on the floor to approve the item. The manager proposed an amendment to the item, and we're at discussions.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question. I just want clarification. I do know the councilwoman emphasized on the number of internships that we're going to be able to provide should we move in favor of this item. My question is, and I support that number as well. I want to amass a majority of amount of residents, as many as possible that we can employ over the summer for our youth. My question is, though I know I'm very confident in our manager's office to execute this effectively, I want to know, do we have an idea as it relates to the time? Because I know we're pressing for time now to get this information out to our residents. So to ensure that, a mass amount of residents know of this opportunity, what ideas or what plan do we have in place for that?
Sure. Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Manager.
Councilman Stevens, given the fact that we've been doing this for the last several years, and it'll be headed up by Assistant City Manager Renita Nelson, who has been active in this program for the last several years. We'll certainly, once this is approved tonight, we'll be moving forward with the announcements. We'll take them through the right process, we'll do the intake process, those types of things immediately, so we can get them started. We're anticipating most of our programming opening June 1st from a park standpoint. So hopefully we'll get most of them done by that, if not before that time, shortly thereafter.
I appreciate it, Mr. Manager. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
And one of the things that I would also like to add is, I'd like to have a formal closing. In other words, if we fund these positions, I want to see the children. I want to have an opportunity to meet them at some point, so that I can see their faces, I can know them, and I want to be able to have a sense of what their experience has been. Last couple of times we funded it, and I've never seen them. And I think that they should meet this council. I think that we should have an opportunity they should tour this city. Part of their experience in working ought to be connected to those who fund them. Is that possible?
Mr. Mayor?
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Manager.
Councilwoman Wilson, not a problem. As a matter of fact, what I'll do, I'll go even further than that. When they are on board, we'll do an introduction to the mayor and council members.
Mhm.
And then when they conclude, they'll come back and we'll provide the opportunity for them to speak to you
Okay,
about their experience.
thank you.
And also, let me just add that in the past, Ms. Nelson has done a tremendous job with those kids in the past, and we used to have luncheons over here with them and trainings, yeah.
Excellent.
So
Mhm.
I'm sure that she'll make sure that
Thank you.
you'll have an opportunity to meet with those kids. Any other questions? No other questions? I need a motion on this item to adopt it with the,
You have to do a motion to amend the item.
yeah, I need a motion to amend this item.
Motion?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Showing that there are no opposed. Oppositions, it's been amended. Now we need to do a motion to,
So now we need to, if there's no more discussion, or you
no more discussion. I need a discussion. I need to
call the roll.
call the roll.
All right. Councilwoman Campbell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Iguodaro,
Yes.
Councilwoman Julian,
Yes.
Councilman Stevens,
I vote yes.
Vice Mayor Leon, Mayor Harris.
I vote yes.
Item passes 7-0. There are no resolutions for public hearing. We're now on to the consent agenda. Item 11.1, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, allocating funds from the CARES Act account in an amount not to exceed $7,500 for the Grant Writing 101 workshop provided for adoption representation, provided for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Councilwoman Linda Julian. Item 11.2, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, approving the Jesse Trice JTCHS subdivision final plat for the property located at 20612 Northwest 27th Avenue, Miami Gardens, Florida 33056. Attached here to is Exhibit A, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager. Item 11.3, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, approving the final plat for St. Thomas University for the property generally located at 16401 Northwest 37th Avenue, Miami Gardens, Florida 33054. Attached here to is Exhibit A, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager. Item 11.4, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the approval of the Quick Build pilot project at the intersection of Northwest 22nd Avenue and Northwest Bunch Park Drive, authorizing the city manager to issue purchase orders as needed to complete the project, providing for instructions, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager. Item 11.5, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the city manager to rely upon contract number 16-17-001 P and Parent and Florida Department of Management Services state term contract number 432300001502 to issue purchase orders not exceeding $156,368.59 to SHI International Corp. to provide Microsoft software licensing and services for the city of Miami Gardens, providing for adoption reputation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager, and that is your consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No oppositions? Show the consent agenda passed.
All right, we're now on to item 13, quasi judicial zoning hearing / gender disclosure. There are no ordinances on for first reading public hearing. There's no ordinances on for second reading public hearing. Item 13.3, resolutions on public hearing. Item 13.3.1.
Can you hold up, Mr. Clerk? Do we have any Jennings disclosures? Do I need to remind the council what they are?
No. Any Jennings disclosure, guys?
If you've
You
spoken
guys
to-
remember what Jennings disclosure is?
Okay, so Jennings disclosure, if you've met or talked with anybody about the item, I'm not staff, but anybody outside of staff about the item, you need to disclose it on the record and you need to indicate whether or not it would affect your ability to be unbiased, if you have spoken to the applicant or anyone else. If not, you don't need to make a disclosure.
Any Jennings disclosures? None? None.
All right, item 13.3.1. Sure.
Good evening and welcome to the quasi judicial portion of the May 26, 2021 City Council meeting. For those persons that will or may be speaking on an item on the agenda or commenting on any item, please stand up and be sworn in by the city clerk. For the applicants, your item will be called to order by agenda number and the title of your request. When your item is called, please approach the microphone and when addressed, please speak directly and clearly stating your name and address for the record and explain the reason for your request. Note that all exhibits presented to the mayor and council will become part of the public record.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you provide this evening will be true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Mr. Clerk, I'm sorry. There's no one on the Zoom that's going to speak? No?
There's no applicant,
Yes, there is an applicant.
but they're not in person out there or on Zoom?
Is the applicant here for the air park? Is there any representatives?
Okay.
I know that they did plan to attend, but I don't see them.
No,
So-
nobody is pre-registered with the clerk's office.
Okay, so if the dais has questions, it go directly to your office, city manager?
You could ask, Mr. Mayor, you can ask directly to the Planning and Zoning Director, Nikisha Smith.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mario.
Okay, I'm good to go now. Item 13.3.1, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, approving the application submitted by Stephanie W. Luiso on behalf of Tangent Land 712 LLC to reduce the side setback to 7 feet where the minimum allowable is 7.5 feet, and to reduce the rear setback to 4 feet where the minimum allowable is 20 feet for the proposed Air Park Warehouse project on a property located on Northwest 37th Avenue and Northwest 154th Terrace, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager.
Good evening to city council members.
Good evening.
This item for adoption is for the Air Park Warehouse project. The project is located at Northwest 37th Avenue, Northwest 154th Terrace. This is not a use variance. They are just requesting a variance of the setbacks on the property. And those setbacks, the The code states that the setback must be 7.5 feet. They are asking for a reduction to 2 feet. That's on the side setback. The rear setback in the code is 20 feet, and they're requesting a reduction down to 4 feet. Because that exceeds the threshold of staff, this item is being brought to the city council for your review. This aerial map shows the location of the site. It is a vacant lot. It is located just east of the Opa-locka Airport. It is in a district that is industrial. This is a view of the site. You can see again that it is vacant, it is unimproved, and is one of the last remaining vacant industrial sites in the area. The neighborhood characteristics are warehouses, and again, the Opa-locka Airport. This is a conceptual plan of the new building that the applicant is proposing to place on the property. And staff is recommending approval via resolution to decrease the minimum setbacks for the project. It is currently under site plan review. The setback variance is necessary in order to approve the project as designed. Thank you.
I need a motion on this item.
I have a question.
I know.
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded. It's open for discussion. Ms. Wilson?
Yes, why is the setback necessary?
If you look on the aerial, you'll see that it's actually at the end of a dead-end street. So you can see the other parcels, they're pretty much the typical square or rectangular lot, but you'll see that a portion of the lot is cut into in order to make room for that turnaround area. So the property does have an irregular shape that does make it different than the other properties in the area, and that's why we support the setback variance, because they do have less lot area to work with than what is typical.
And the proposed use for it is?
The proposed use for it is warehouse, storage, typical to what is already existing in the area.
But it's a lot of stuff over there. Like, it's
It
not
would-
just
it's an
stone.
it's an industrial area.
Yeah, I
so
know, I'm
the-
familiar
So the
with that.
proposed uses would have to align
Right,
with whatever is already in our permitted uses code. They're
right.
not requesting a variance from the uses that are already in our
Yeah,
code.
yeah, but I'm saying, what will be their uses? Based on what the uses are, what are they gonna be putting in?
Whatever they propose, it would have to fit with our use table.
What's
As
the
far
use-
as I'm aware, they do not have tenants at this time, obviously,
Mhm.
because the site is vacant.
Mhm,
But the uses that they propose
mhm,
would have to comply with what is in our land use.
mhm. And so, based on the setback, what would be the overall impact of going up into that area? I go up in there quite a bit.
Mhm.
It's a very, very dark area, very dark. And when we take a, because this is right on 37th Avenue, right?
It's to the east of it.
Mhm.
Mhm. It's a dead end, so like I
Mhm.
said, you can't go all the way through. It dead ends on 154th, because it goes north, 37 goes north.
Mhm.
So there's a dead end there, you have to actually turn around. You can't directly access 37.
Okay. And so what would be the requirements in terms of lighting over there for this business?
For this particular business, again, they would have to comply with the lighting standards that are already set out in our code.
Mhm. And so were they told that they should be here tonight?
Again, as far as I was aware, there was going to be a representative here this
Mm,
evening.
okay. Can we delay the discussion on this or the vote on this until someone is present?
And I have a question. when she-
I have a question.
Yeah,
as well.
let's hear the questions first. Unless that's a motion that you making?
Well, I would like to, but I mean, I'd like for all my council people to be here. I'm sorry.
All right, let's hear the.
I believe Councilwoman Campbell, did you say?
Yeah, I have a question as well.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, my question is, I'm very familiar with the area as well. The infrastructure is a problem in that area. So I would like to know the individuals who are proposing this, the company and with the owners or whomever, what other areas over in that area, what is their plan? Because if we're talking about increasing the business in that area, the infrastructure is something that we need to consider. As my colleague, Councilwoman Wilson mentioned, it's a very dark area. And before we move forward with this, I would definitely like to know their plans for, for this particular business. And I'm imagining they didn't submit that information to you?
Again, it's not a built project yet, so a lot of times they don't know who their tenants are gonna be until much later on. It's
Okay.
still in the conceptual phase.
Oh, okay, so they didn't submit the information. So that means it's not a part of the beginning process when they submit this information. Is that what we're getting at?
Correct, but again, whatever they submit would have to comply with whatever is in our land use code and the regulations for the industrial district.
Yeah, no, and I get that, but I want to know, I believe, and maybe this is a question that we need to explore, Mr. Manager, I believe that when that's submitted, we need to, there should be, in my opinion, a category or somewhere when they submit these documents that indicate what it is that they wish to do within our city.
I can tell
So
you
you're
that
telling me
based-
that that's not the information, that
Well, based
information.
on based on the floor plan, the type of industrial that they're gonna do here, it's gonna be warehouse, distribution, that's.
Yeah,
that's
no,
the
I
type of
get
floor
the fact that it's in a warehouse district.
Right.
But
and
you
the
can
floor-
use the warehouse district for, there's a number of
Uses, yeah.
businesses that you can use or do in the warehouse district. So I get that. But I just want to know what their plans are because I want to see how the traffic is going to increase in that area and the infrastructure, how it's going to, the increased traffic, how it's going to play to the infrastructure that's already bad in that area. So that information is important to me.
Okay. And in terms of the utilities, infrastructure, they're responsible for what is on their site. So again, the lighting would have to comply with the code. Any drainage, they would have to comply with the drainage and utility standards that are within the code. Flooding, all of that, they would have to retain on their property because that's what our code requires.
Councilwoman.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'm sorry, if I could be heard for a second. They come before you for a variance, and these questions that you're asking are good questions, and you have a right to know them. They are questions that you would ask in line with somebody asking you for something. We are in our quasi judicial capacity. I mean, you're acting as judges, which means they have a fact finding that they can do related to the variance. The applicant is not here. Nikisha is doing her best to answer on their behalf, but that's not her job. I heard Councilwoman Wilson say that maybe this item should be deferred so we can get answers to the questions. And as a city attorney, I think that may be the best thing to do because you have a right, the questions you're asking are valid questions. But I don't know if you're gonna get that information from her.
That being the case, is this a motion that you making to defer this item?
I would like to, yes, sir.
There's a motion on the table to defer the item.
To a time certain, Mayor, so that we don't have to re-advertise. So I would suggest next council meeting.
The next council meeting is June 9th.
June 9th at 7 o'clock.
All right.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
may I,
yes.
can we push it to June 23rd?
Yeah, that's fine. June
Okay,
23rd.
thank you.
But the
I need I need a motion. We got a motion on the
Motion.
deferral?
I think Councilwoman Wilson made a motion to defer the item. The manager suggested the date of June 23rd. We just need a second right now on that motion.
Yeah, that's what they're
Second.
doing now. They're
Second.
doing the second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Show the item deferred until June 23rd.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're now on to the reports of the city manager, city attorney, and city clerk.
Mr. Manager?
Mr. Mayor, thank you. I just want to say congratulations to Mayor Gibson, Mayor Gilbert, and to you, Mayor, on the unveiling of the portraits for each of you. I think they turned out very nicely, and I think it's something that the city should continue as the city grows and, and making sure that we recognize the leadership of the city at the mayor's position. So congratulations to everybody on that. And with that, Mayor, I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manager.
Congratulations as well, and no additional comment.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. That was quick. Mr. Clerk.
Congratulations, no comments.
Thank you.
I wish I can say congratulations, no comments, but I have comments.
Go ahead.
The Hurricane Preparedness Clinic series is coming to a close tomorrow. Last week, Faith, Truth, and Deliverance Church of God by Faith opened its doors for our second session. So big kudos and thank you to Pastor Robert and his staff for welcoming the community as we continue to educate our residents on the necessary supplies and ensuring that everyone is prepared as it relates to the upcoming hurricane season. On tomorrow, May 27th, we will be at Buccaneer Park to host our final clinic in this series, beginning at 6 p.m. Representatives from our city Public Works Department, Home Depot, and Supreme Roofing and Construction would be present. I urge everyone to come out to learn, get the information, and ask whatever questions that you have as it relates to ensuring that your home, your property is prepared for the upcoming hurricane season. On Thursday, June 3rd at 6:30 p.m., we'll be hosting a legislative update and citywide town hall meeting where different departments would be present to give you all an update as it relates to what we are doing as a city, what we've accomplished. The meeting would be held at Betty T. Ferguson, and our state senator, Chevron Jones, would be there to give us an update as it relates to what took place in Tallahassee the past 90 days. And then finally, on Saturday, June 5th, we have a hurricane supply giveaway that would be taking place at Betty T. Ferguson between the hours, starting at 10 a.m. A huge thank you to Home Depot, Supreme Roofing and Construction for providing the information and resources and supplies to ensure that the residents of Miami Gardens is hurricane ready. Information about all of our upcoming events can be found on our city's webpage, as well as my social media to ensure that you stay in the loop of what's going on. I'm sorry, and last, far as the events, World Elder Abuse Awareness Day Fair would also be taking place on Tuesday, June 15th at Betty T. Ferguson, starting at 9 a.m. Again, that's World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. And then finally, I want to acknowledge and welcome on board my new legislative analyst, Mr. Cameron Floyd. Cameron is a two-time graduate of Florida State University, majoring in political science and public administration. So we're glad to have him on board.
Cameron, where did you go to high school at? For who? Okay.
That's the only part the mayor wanted to hear is that you played for Miami Northwestern Senior High School. And he's an Omega Psi Phi. The vice mayor wanted to make a brother of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. The vice mayor wanted to make sure we get that out.
Mr. Clay, don't let that go by.
That ends my report, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Councilwoman Iguodaro.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. We're coming up on Memorial Day. I would like to thank all of our servicemen and women who gave their lives for our country and all others who have passed on. On this Saturday, May 29th at 11 a.m., we will be unmasking the face of COVID and remembering as well as honoring those that have lost their life due to COVID-19. Too many of those lost have become just a number or statistic, further adding to the family's pain of many of them passing away alone in hospitals without any family members allowed to be at their side. On this Saturday, we're asking you to join us so that we can call them by their names. as well as have a candlelight vigil in their honor. We have asked that those that have lost loved ones to send a picture or give us a call at 786-858-2662. You can also register by emailing cmartin, C-M-A-R-T-I-N, @miamigardens-fl.gov. Join us. The location is going to be at the Sunshine State Arch, 16600 Northwest 12th Avenue, right off 826. I would also like to ask our seniors, those 55 and over, to register for our senior prom. This is a flagship event for our city. It's a citywide event open to seniors in our community. And that event is going to be at the newly opened Bunch Park Rec Center on June 12th, 2021. It's going to be themed Safari in the Gardens. Wear your animal print, and let's come on out and have a great time. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Julia?
Okay, good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to congratulate you, Mayor, on your portrait. Very nice and very well deserved. Thank you to everyone who came out for the first annual Haitian Heritage Month film on Saturday evening. We showcased the documentary 1804, The Hidden History of Haiti, and it was phenomenal. It was a great learning experience for most. It was great to see our residents and employees come out with their families and friends to enjoy themselves. Thank you to my colleagues, Vice Mayor Leon and Councilman Stevens, for attending. I'd like to also thank Natalia for holding it down. Natalia, stand up to be recognized. She dislikes this part. But Natalia held it down like a trooper. She really showed her leadership skills and she executed the event, and I could not be, I'm so proud of her. So I want to say thank you because it went off exactly how I imagined. And I was happy at the end of the night. So Natalia, thank you so much for your leadership and all of your hard work. I appreciate you. I'd like to also thank the parks staff who all worked that evening. Thank you for their professionalism, Mr. Manager. They did such a wonderful job and their diligence. Lastly, I'd like to thank Chief Pratt, Assistant Chief Nargiso, Sergeant Dana Levine, and the other officers who kept us safe during the event. Thank you to the Miami Dolphins for always being extraordinary, great community partners and for hosting my event at the Hard Rock Stadium. Let's see, it was great to see so many Miami Gardens business owners and residents and colleagues at the Formula One Community Watch Party on Sunday. Super exciting times. It is a great time to be in Miami Gardens. And I would like to encourage all small businesses to apply for the Emerging Small Business Award that we have out right now. So if you know any small businesses who you think merit this award, please encourage them to apply. The advertisement is showcasing on all of our city platforms, so you can't miss it. And lastly, I would like to also encourage those students who attend Miami Gardens middle and high schools and who are also Miami Gardens residents to apply for the Haitian Heritage Month Essay Contest. Tomorrow is the last day for applications. And so if you know a young man or a young woman from grades 6 to 12 who could benefit from this, please encourage them to apply. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilwoman Campbell.
Well, I gotta follow that act right there. All righty, miss. Well, good evening, everyone. Just a couple of quick things. I want to thank all the volunteers that came out to the May 15th community cleanup. We were in two areas. We were near Buccaneer Park, and we were also in the Riverview area. those young people and the elders that came out, they really worked, and I appreciate that. And Public Works, they were in motion, they did what they did, and I thank them also. I also want to thank our Senator Shevrin Jones and State Rep Felicia Robinson for coming on my town hall on last month, well, this month still, May 18th. They gave some valuable information. It was well received. And we really need to pay attention of all the smoke and mirrors that are being played. Don't get caught up. I know we in COVID and this pandemic is kind of throwing everybody off, but don't get caught up because there's a lot of smoke and mirrors out there. And we got to pay attention here on the local level, especially at what's going on. And they gave some valuable information. So I would kudos to them and looking forward to them coming on other town halls. My colleague he's going to be visiting him coming soon, bringing even more valuable information. So tune in, guys. You tune in and be there because it's valuable. Okay. And then lastly, I'll say that, we have this Baja's reunion and I'm super excited about it. It's my stomping ground where I grew up at. And I need everyone, if you plan to attend, because it is limited space. So I would ask that you either call 305-793-9038 if you want more information, or you can log on to the website, which is bajasforlife.com, and I'll spell it. It is BAHAS, 4 LYFE.com. And Mr. Mayor, that's all my announcements. And thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Ms. Wilson?
Yes. First of all, I'd like to begin with Juneteenth. That will be on Saturday of June 19th at the Calder Racetrack in Parking Lot E. I am totally and extremely excited about the work that's being done to prepare for the day when our community can come together and celebrate democracy, celebrate the true reality that we as a city took the helm and decided that we would self-govern. Over the last few weeks, what I have been able to watch on television is the boldness of our ancestors who decided for themselves that they wanted to have their freedom. And even at times in the silence and in the face of law being put on the books, there was still an attempt to covertly not let them know that they truly had freedom. And so today, when we begin to look at where we are now, there is still an attempt to covertly keep people's freedoms hidden from them so that they are unable to take fully advantage of what is guaranteed to all American citizens in the Constitution. There is no cost greater than the cost that we should be willing to pay for people to exercise their right to democracy and their right to be free. And so when we look at Juneteenth and we celebrate it for the first time, let us not think of it as a cost. Let us think of it as an opportunity to strengthen the foundation of our community. Let us not think of it as a free or a ticketed event, but let us see it as an opportunity for us to gather as one American citizens and citizens of Miami Gardens, the fourth largest Black city in the state of Florida and maybe in the country. There is a huge responsibility that we have. And this responsibility, whether we're talking about COVID, is one that I've experienced personally. And I don't take the responsibility of my health lightly. And I don't take the responsibility of the people that sit on this dais, health or their safety lightly. It is a responsibility of every single one of us, not only for our personal safety, but the safety of every single person that we come in contact with. Whether it is through our vaccination process, whether it is through our ability to put on a mask, or whether it is just through ensuring that the environment that we are in is safe. So when we unmask COVID, think about safety. when we walk in here, let's protect one another. When we come to Juneteenth, let us exercise everything within our power to ensure that the people who enter on those grounds enter with safety. And know that we all have exercised the fullest responsibility, not just for ourselves, but for one another. And so on Meet Me Monday, the city manager and his team will come to speak to the residents, not only about COVID, but how do we prepare for hurricanes? How do we ensure the safety of the residents? How do we secure our city? How do we operate in emergency situations? I would invite all the residents to come out so that we can all be responsible for each other's safety. Thank you.
When is that date for Meet Me Mondays?
I think it's the 7th of June. Is it? June.
Come on, Jamal.
We've been working late, sorry about that.
The 7th. It's 7th. At what time?
That's
6 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
on Zoom.
Vice Mayor?
Good evening. Given the fact that we just approved the budget allocating money for our summer youth program, I wanted to make a motion that we go ahead and,
Speaking to your mic, bro.
I said, given the fact that we just approved the budget for our summer youth program, I wanted to make a motion directing our city manager to go ahead, since this is a time-sensitive matter, to enter into agreement, to give him the right to enter into an agreement with CareerSource so that we can get the ball rolling, as you spoke about, so that we can get the kids onboarded and get the word out there. So that's my motion on the floor right now.
Second? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Show it approved.
And secondly, also, don't forget about the free legal aid services in partnership with the Legal Services of Greater Miami. Again, I want to thank our city attorney for working this deal out. We're able to provide for the residents of Miami Gardens, free tenant, landlord and tenant issues, employment assistance, mortgage and foreclosure, COVID-19 assistance, scams that's been going on in this community a lot in regards to our senior citizens, people knocking on their door asking them to sell their homes, disaster benefits, disability benefits, food stamps, veteran benefits, garnishment, student loans, and IRS problems. So the phone number for the legal assistance is 305-576-0080. Thank you again.
Again, I just want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you guys who made this night possible for me. It's one that'll never be forgotten. And again, thank you so much. The picture looked good. Look good. So thank you guys. I really don't have a report, so I need a motion.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, meeting adjourned.